If you've just joined us, our guest on this episode of Question Time is the Honorable Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale. Don't go away. We live in a country where medical tourism is rampant. So what are you doing and what's your position concerning this?
Well, we can't stop medical tourism completely, but we are certainly not happy that a large number of Nigerians go out for ailments that ought to be treated in this country. We also will want to see a situation where people stay in Nigeria to be treated. Every day, I think I sign off between 5 and 10 waivers to bring corpses in from abroad. 50% of these corpses or these people died from cancer. And so one of the things we want to do is to upgrade our ability to treat cancers in this country. As of today, we have 7 centers with only 1.5 or at best 2 radiotherapy machines working in the 7. And so what we want to do this year is to flag off an additional 7 plus the 7. So we want to make sure that by the end of this year, 14 cancer centers will be operational in the next 12 months. And if we can get going, then we should, that's just far from what we need. With our population, we'll be needing close to 200 machines for the country. So even going 14 is not really a big mileage, but it is a significant improvement over the current situation where only 2 machines are working. So end of this year, we'll put 14 machines at work to treat Nigerians. We'll activate many of the centers. We do not want to spread ourselves too thin. We want to look at some of the specialized centers. If we can have 2 per zones and 2 in Abuja, that's 14. I think we will have started well. And it will have to be a continuous process. What has actually affected the delivery of health over the years is that we took care of primary care center, we abandoned secondary. At a point in time, we took care of tertiary, and then we have really a disconnected approach. So what we want to do is adopt a comprehensive approach. We'll partner with the states to say each state should take care of their facilities. We are looking at putting in place a good referral system. If we have primary care system working well, we will have secondary systems working, then the tertiary. We want to give incentives to states. And if a state is able to put in place a state primary care development authority will give an incentive. If they're able to set up an insurance scheme at the state level, we'll give them incentive. If they reactivate a secondary facility, either a comprehensive center or a state hospital in a local government, we give incentive. That's to ensure that across the country, we are able to rehabilitate and inject life into the health system.
In implementing most of your health plans, the issue of funding is raised, and one wonders what happens to the several international grants that the health sector in Nigeria has enjoyed so far.
Well, no country can ever develop solely on the basis of international assistance. We need them, but we need to put our money. And that's why we are coming up with an innovative agenda with respect to funding. We'll look at quite a number of options. Health insurance will be one of them. And the operationalization of the National Health Act will be another. The Health Act also allows us to raise money from outside and also raise money from within. And I think there are sufficient resources, even in this country, to mobilize for health. And we shall do so.
We want you to comment on your plans towards HIV prevention.
Well, I've been part of it, but there's still a lot of work to be done. We've made progress. We've been able to reduce the prevalence. It is coming down. It is not where it ought to be, considering our population. The incidence, the prevalence is actually not too high. What is high is the population base. But with what we're doing, it's one of the flagship projects under this administration. We want to really implement a policy to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV. We want to operationalize test and treat. And we also want to create a system where at primary care level, we can test Nigerians for HIV. And once they're positive, we want to treat. So we will operationalize test and treat as an option.
Before we wind down this conversation, you talked about the resurgence of the Lassa fever as a pointer to some other deadly diseases like Ebola. So what are you doing to ensure that the country does not experience that kind of a nightmare again?
Well, I think eternal vigilance is the right word. We need to be on alert on a second by second basis. We need to know that when you lower your guards, Ebola, Lassa, Marburg, any of the other viruses can really creep in. So we need to be on alert. We need to really educate our people, and we need to let ourselves know that this human body is really prone to a lot of infections if we do not care for the body. And that by improving awareness, by reporting early, improving health-seeking behavior, we can take care of some of the challenges that we have. When people have problems, there's nothing like, other than a road traffic accident, there's nothing like sudden death. Even those who died of hypertensive strokes and cardiovascular collapse, they've had problems for a long time. Cancer, when detected early, can be treatable, 100%. So do not neglect yourself. Do not wait until it is too late to report at the health facility. Do not tell anybody that it is an affliction and that they could not take care of it in the health facility. I think these are some of the misconceptions we want to address. And at every opportunity available to me, I've told people that the emphasis should be treat your body the way you treat your car. People are so caring when it comes to their car. Like I said this morning, when you wake up, you clean your car, you check the tire, you check the radiator level, you check the engine oil, you check the fuel, you check the radiator. When you start the engine, you listen to the sound before you drive off. We should treat our body even better than that. You'll be shocked as to the number of people who care about their body. When something goes wrong, a persistent headache, a noise, or a breathing challenge, rather than go to the hospital, they say, I reject it. And they move on. And yet when it's their car, they do not reject it. They go to either Mukala or Taiwo or Michael mechanic to look after their vehicle. So let's treat ourselves better than we treat our cars. That's my New Year message to Nigerians.
Professor Isaac Adewale, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Question Time. And I also wish you success as you flag off your health agenda for the year 2016. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much, Benga.
And that's as much as we can take on this episode of Question Time. You may also send us a comment on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Join us next week on another exciting episode of the show on Channels Television. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashiru saying goodbye.